sentenced to life in prison with no parole due to his plea of not guilty by reasons of insanity, saving him from the death penalty.
This is significant because as a news anchor and somebody who has researched this topic, I know it's very rare that the insanity defense is used, and even less likely for it to impact the verdict. In fact, the Huffington Post writer Mark Robenstein says only 1% of criminal cases involve this defense and less than a quarter of those are successful. Now, defense attorney Kay will join us to discuss the positive and negative effects of the insanity defense in the court.
Well, before I can get into the pros and the cons of the defense, I should really discuss what exactly insanity of the NGRI. The insanity is when a person who has committed a crime and pleads that they are not guilty are responsible of their transgressions and due to their mental instability.
So who exactly can use the insanity defense?
Anyone is able to plead not guilty by reasons of insanity. However, the jurisdiction is up to the court. The court has several tests to determine if they believe a person to be insane. The first being the McNaughton rule, which is where the defendant failed to see right from wrong due to mental illness. There is also the irritable impulse test, where the defendant can't control their impulses. Next, there is the Durham rule, which is where regardless of diagnosis, the mental defect was the cause of the criminal acts. And lastly, there is the model penal code test, which is where the defendant has a diagnosed mental defect, causing them to not fully understand the criminology of their actions.
Which causes controversy revolving around this defense and concerning punishment and effectiveness. Which brings forth our first con. How can a court or jury decide if a person is in fact insane, and how does this prove that they did not understand the consequences of their actions?
Another con would be how the court decides to detain or punish the defendant, as it would be dangerous not only to society, but to the person in question if they were to release them back onto the streets.
Okay, those are valid points, but this defense has done a lot for the people who truly need it. In case like James Holmes, it saved him from death penalty even though he still ended up in jail for the rest of his life. It can also save the life of a mentally unstable person who would need to be able to survive life in prison. A common misconception regarding this defense is that the person who committed the crime would be left free without any type of reparation. But this defense, who successfully used, can help get a mentally ill person get the help.
Well, that concludes tonight's top story. Remember, despite James Holmes' lessened sentence, in most cases the insanity defense has no influence in the jurisdiction.